everybody, and welcome to Enjoy English. My name is Shane.
大家好，我是 Bernice.
And today we are looking at an article titled Saving Lives with the Heimlich Maneuver.
Saving lives.
Saving lives.
要救命了，各位。
Yes, so countless lives have been saved thanks to the Heimlich Maneuver.
今天我们要来学一个急救的一个东西，很重要哦。我觉得今天这个课程相当不错，尤其是你可以有时候不晓得怎么样，你可能可以救到人家的性命，叫做哈姆立克急救法。你也可以成为救命英雄，因为这一个方式呢，已经挽救了无数生命 ，countless。
Wow, very impressive. Okay, so let's get into today's lesson.
好的。
Saving lives with the Heimlich maneuver. Choking occurs when food or other foreign objects get stuck in the throat, and it can lead to brain damage or even death if the foreign object isn't removed from the airway within 4 to 5 minutes. Luckily, the Heimlich maneuver is here to help. This method of clearing a blocked airway has saved countless lives. The Heimlich maneuver, also known as abdominal thrusts, was developed in the 1970s by Henry J. Heimlich, a doctor from the United States. He first described the technique in a medical journal in 1974. The maneuver is done by applying quick inward and upward thrusts to the abdomen of the choking person. This action forces the remaining air in the lungs up through the airway, which pushes the object out. Before the development of the Heimlich maneuver, back blows were the most common way to help choking people. However, this approach sometimes pushes the object even farther down the throat. Another method was a tracheostomy, which creates a temporary airway in the throat through a cut in the neck until a doctor can remove the object. Unlike this treatment, which must be performed by professionals, the Heimlich maneuver provides a simple and safe technique that can be used by anyone.
Choking occurs when food or other foreign objects get stuck in the throat, and it can lead to brain damage or even death if the foreign object isn't removed from the airway within 4 to 5 minutes.
Ooh.
Wow, that's not very long, is it? 4 or 5 minutes, and if you don't have oxygen to your brain, then you can become brain dead. Or even just totally die.
没错。
And that is really scary.
Yeah, really. 所以这边讲的是 choking 啊，刚才老师讲 choking.
So typically, that would be food. While you're eating food, eating something, and then you see a lot of times in the movies, right? Like in a restaurant, and it says, "Is there a doctor here? Is there a doctor here?" And then someone will come and do the Heimlich maneuver, and pa!
Yeah.
And everyone's, oh, yay! So usually it's food, but it can be other objects, you know, if it's especially if it's a child.
Yeah.
If it's a child, they might swallow a toy or something like that. So,
Yeah, or the elderly people.
yeah,
right?
elderly people swallow weird stuff too. Yeah, so it's a very, very important thing to know how to do because choking kills lots of people every year, you know?
对。
Yeah,
所以
so
我来解释一下好了。一开始呢，就是讲到这个 choking， 就是噎到。我们刚才讲说，噎到这件事情其实很常发生。你如果是在餐厅里面用餐啦，小朋友啦，或年长者啦，当然任何人都有可能。可是它发生的时候 ，occurs 就是 happens。当它发生的时候，通常就是食物或者是其他的一些 foreign objects。object 就是一些东西、一些物件。好，所以说我们讲的这种异物啦，哈，然后呢，刚好呢就 get stuck， 你就卡在你的那个喉咙里面，而这件事情很有可能就会 lead to， 就会导致 导致什么呢？就是 cause，C-A-U-S-E， 你会导致大脑会损伤甚至有的时候更不好一点，就是你可能会死翘翘了。如果呢，你这个异物没有办法 removed from 从你的 airway 从你的这个气管这个地方呢，呼吸道这个地方移开来，而且时间就是大概4到5分钟之内。
Yeah. And usually 4 to 5 minutes is probably brain death. And then over maybe like 6 or 7 minutes, you'd be getting to the point of death.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's pretty scary. So, you know, since it is a common occurrence to choke on food, you know, it's important to know how to do this.
Yes.
So today's lesson is super important.
Yes.
Okay? All right. Luckily, the Heimlich maneuver is here to help. So this is what we use when we want to try to expel or to get rid of the food or foreign object from the airway. We use the Heimlich maneuver.
没错，所以呢，很幸运的呢，就是呢，我们今天有这个哈姆立克急救法，就可以来提供我们协助啦。
It's here to save the day.
Yes.
Okay. This method of clearing a blocked airway has saved countless lives. You can't even count them. Countless lives.
没错，就像老师刚刚解释 ，can't even count。
Yeah. Too many.
对，所以这种疏通这个受阻呼吸道的方式呢，挽救了无数的生命。
Okay. All right. Let's take a short break and we'll be right back.
好的。
Yeah, the reason I mentioned how serious this is it's actually how my mother
Oh, really?
passed
Okay.
away.
Wow.
She choked on food.
Wow.
And my father wasn't very good. Didn't understand really how to do the Heimlich maneuver, or it just was not successful. And because of that, my mother became brain dead.
Wow.
And then not long after
sorry.
that, she passed away. So to me, I think this is a really important thing. If you don't know how to do the Heimlich maneuver, you can go to some places and they'll teach you. And it's not very difficult to learn. And you can really save lives if you know how to do it. So very important.
Okay.
Okay, so let's learn more about the Heimlich maneuver.
All right.
The Heimlich maneuver, also known as abdominal thrusts, was developed in the 1970s by Henry J. Heimlich, a doctor from the United States. Okay, so there was a doctor named Heimlich, and they named this maneuver after Heimlich, the doctor, the Heimlich maneuver. Okay, so that's only been around since the 1970s, so really not that long.
Yeah.
You know, it's pretty recent that we've been doing this kind of thing. It seems so common now that you see the Heimlich maneuver done, but before that, people will just
Yeah, right. You
just hit you in the
hit
back.
your back, yeah.
Right.
OK， 好，我们来看一下这样子的这个哈姆立克急救法，它有另外一个这个称呼的方式，所以它这边说 also known as，这个 as 就是以什么样的一个身份啦，或什么样的一个状况呢？好，来这个文明的，所以另外它有一个名字，我们叫做腹部的推力，因为它是在你的这个腹部的这个地方去做一个所谓的 thrust， 就是一个非常强力的一个 push。的一个动作，对，然后 with force，你要很用力的去把它推出来。那它一开始的时候是在1970年，那个时候呢，有一位美国医生，好，他所研发出来的。
Right. Okay. He first described the technique in a medical journal in 1974. Okay. The maneuver is done by applying quick inward and upward thrust to the abdomen of the choking person. Right.
OK， 所以呢，这个他一开始这个医生呢，虽然说这个方法是在1970年代他研发的，但他是在1974年，然后他在一个 medical journal， 就是一个医疗的那种医学的期刊里面呢，才把它这样子的叙述出来哈，去把它描述出来说describe 嘛哈，有这样的一个方式。那他这边用到了一个字叫 technique， 我们知道 technique 呢，通常这个字就是表示，你要做一件事情呢，你要用一些比较特定的技能啦，或者一些技巧嘛。你像这个哈姆立克急救法，你没有学过，你不能随便的乱施作在这个就是 choking 的人的身上，所以你还是要经过适当的学习之后，所以他才会用 technique 这个字。所以他是1974年才在这个期刊里面呢去做这样的一个描述。那现在呢，这一个方式啊，就是这个哈姆立克这个急救法呢，其实已经可以被施行了。那你施行的方式是怎么样的施行呢？ by 借由 applying to， 你可以看到后面会有一个介系词 to， apply something to 什么什么，就是表示你要去运用，你要去使用，就是你要用一种比较快一点的方式，好，就是你的速度要够快。而且你要 inward， 你是要往内，并且是往上。你在推的时候是往内推，但是你的动作是往上推的这个动作，这样的一个 thrust 就是一种 pressure， 你这样的一个刺激方式，对于你的腹腔，那才能够对于这个就是我们刚刚讲的这个 choking 的人，就是可能噎到的人会比较有帮助。
Yeah. Okay. This action forces the remaining air. So this action you were talking about, the inward and upward thrust to the abdomen. So this action forces the remaining air in the lungs up through the airway, which then pushes the object out. Right? So there's any remaining air. So air that is still left over in the lungs. So any remaining air.
所以他就说了，像这样子的一个动作会 force 会迫使呢，你这里面有一些残留 remaining， 就是剩下来的其余剩下来的一些 air 这些空气。那这些空气呢是在你的这个肺部里面剩下来的空气。然后呢，因为你这个迫使你这个肺部剩余的空气向上的这个通过你的呼吸道，因为你要往上去推它哈，所以它会 up。然后 through the airway 通过你的呼吸道，这个时候呢，因为有前面这样的一个动作跟这样呼吸道的一个往上的这个排气，所以就可以把你的里面的这个异物给推出来了。
Interesting. Okay. But, let's take a short break and we'll be right back.
All right.
Okay, welcome back. So now let's get into what happened before. I mean, before the Heimlich maneuver, what did people do?
Yeah.
Okay, so before the development of the Heimlich maneuver, back blows were the most common way to help choking people. So a blow is like a punch or to hit. So you would hit somebody on their back and try to get the object, for you to spit it out, right? And come out from the lungs. So they say before the development of the Heimlich maneuver. So for something to develop means it goes from a starting point and then it becomes more progressed as time goes on. So to develop is what develop is. So the development of this Heimlich maneuver, it didn't just happen in 1 second. It was developed over time.
没错。所以呢，这个第三段呢，他现在就开始在讲说呢，原本嘛，我们是在1970年，然后甚至到1974年，这个医生呢才在这个医学的期刊上面描述说有哈姆立克急救法。可是，在之前呢，当他1974年之前还没有这个方法出来的时候，所以他这一段就是讲说，在哈姆立克急救法出现之前，就老师刚刚有解释 ，development 就原本他可能这个东西慢慢的越来越有进展的时候呢，那这个时候以前还没有出现的时候，我们是用 back blow， 所以刚刚我讲 blow 是一个比较重力的一个打击的一个方式，然后打你的背，所以我们就翻译成背部拍击法，就是你看到人家一般这样的时候，你就会咔去拍他嘛，就这个动作。对，所以你那个背部拍击法，当时所以用 were， 因为它还那个时候是在以前的时候，是最常见的一个方式，就是来帮助这些被噎到的这些患者。
Okay. All right. However, so this technique did work, right? It did have some success. However, this approach sometimes pushes the object even farther down the throat. So that's a problem. So if you're really trying to help somebody and you start hitting them on the back and the object starts to go even farther down, then it makes it even worse, not better. And you end up, probably doing more good than bad, or more bad than good,
对，
right?
就是你做的，你的坏的东西可能比好的还要多，就更糟糕的意思啦。What's worse？ 更糟糕了。对对对，所以呢，它这个句就是用 however 来做的一个开头，也就是说，虽然这个用背部拍击法，确实有可能可以帮你把一些异物排出，那可能就是说，有时候你的异物可能就卡在比较前面一点点，所以拍一拍就咳出来了。可是呢，他又讲了这样子的一种 approach， 我们知道 approach 也是指做事情的一个方法哈。那这样的一个方法，有的时候你反而是让你的这个 object， 你把它 push even farther。我们知道这个 far 就是远的意思嘛，然后加了 THER 变它的比较级 ，even 是副词来修饰这一个比较级，所以你把它往下又推到更远的这个喉咙的这个更深处了。那如果这样的话，可能到时候连哈姆立克急救法都没有办法，你可能要 open your throat， 可能是这样了。
Well, okay. Well, speaking of opening your throat, another method was a tracheostomy.
Oh.
Which creates a temporary airway in the throat through a cut in the neck until a doctor can remove the object. So I always did wonder about this, if like my father was like more like MacGyver, do you know?
Oh, okay.
买改线吗? I don't know if the younger kids know who this was, but he was good at just doing small things or trying to fix things. I was wondering if my dad was more like MacGyver. He would just like put a pen and stab my mom, because if you just get to here with something and cut it open, then you can breathe again.
Okay.
Because the object is stuck higher up in the throat. So if you know what you're doing, you could just cut it. So I always thought, I wonder if that would have worked, It's probably is a little bit too dangerous to try at home.
Yes.
Right?
Very dangerous.
My mother ended up dying. So I wonder, if we really had this skill or technique, we maybe could have saved her life, So anyway, there is another thing to do, but it's really only for doctors.
对
right? Or trained medical professionals.
没错，所以我们接下来讲这个方式呢，就是刚才 Shane 老师讲，如果当时他的父亲或许如果他会做这个动作的话，但是他父亲不是 Your father is not a doctor, so I'm sorry.
Yeah.
因为他父亲不是医生啦，所以这个方式就是一般人不可以哦。就是你要有执照的，或者你要有受过训练的这些医护人员才能去做的。对，所以他的另外一个方法呢，就是我们讲的，其实就是气切法。气管造口术，这是它的一个完整一个翻译的方式。你可以看它的前面那个 TRACHEA， 它原本是这样，就是我们的这个气管，这个地方。对，他说这个地方呢，因为呢，我们可以去把它创造出来一个比较暂时性的一个呼吸，这个 airway， 这个紧急的这个呼吸，暂时性的一个呼吸道。那这样的呼吸道是在我们的喉咙里面，然后你要透过什么方式？就是你要 cut， 你要切下去。那你要怎么切？你要注意你的脖子这边很多的血管。我们一般人哪知道哪一根管是哪一根管？你要乱切，你把人家就是血液流太多了，或切到大动脉，这样就不行了。所以呢，它因为是刚好你要切在你这个脖子地方，然后呢 ，until a doctor， 一直到你切下去的时候，要一直到这个医生。好，可以把你这个喉咙里面这个东西拿出来，好的时候，那这样子的话呢，就等于创建一个暂时性的呼吸道，让医生可以把你里面的异物取出。
Right. Okay. So maybe it is still left for very daring people.
Yeah.
You have to be very daring. Okay. All right. Continuing. Unlike this treatment, which must be performed by professionals, okay, it has to be professionals.
Yes.
The Heimlich maneuver provides a simple and safe technique that can be used by anyone. So anyone who gets a little bit of training to do this can perform this maneuver.
Yeah.
and save a life,
Yep.
right?
所以这个最后一句已经告诉我们啦啊，他说呢，我们现在今天我们在讲的这个主题就是这样的一个哈姆立克这样的方式。他说呢 ，unlike this treatment， 就是跟我们刚才讲的那个方式比较不一样的，就是说呢，就刚才我们讲的，它是一定要用专业的人员才能够操作的。就刚刚老师讲的，你不可以随便把人家喉咙这边切开一个。暂时性的这个呼吸道，然后让东西拿出来，不行不行
You might kill them.
对，不可以不可以
Right away.
千万不行。对，所以这个动作只能被 performed 被施行被操作，是只有专业人员。可是呢，哈姆立克急救法则是提供了一个比较简单一点，好，然后也比较安全的一些方式。那这个方法是每一个人都可以操作，可是你还是要经过训练。如果像我们没有经过训练，你随便的帮人家做这个 push 的这个动作还是不可以的。
Yeah, you might break their ribs or hurt them.
Yeah, right. 对，所以也是不行的。
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's all the time we have for part 1.
Yeah.
But we will see you in part 2. So we'll see you then.
Bye.